Here he is.
Hello, Tony Hinchcliffe.
Hello, everybody.
You're in the UFC?
Nope.
Where'd you get that hat?
Dana White.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It's a real one.
Yeah, it is. Handed it to me.
He handed it to you.
Yeah, in Vegas at his office.
You were hanging out with Dana White in his office?
Yeah, I helped him.
Motherfucker.
I know. Straight to the top.
You really just, that's basically what happened.
Yeah. I helped him with some jokes for his Dana White looking for a fight. They tried
That's
stand-up
right.
comedy, so
I saw that.
he flew me out, and it was fun. Got the shirt and the hat. Wear them all the time.
That was the trade for the jokes?
Yeah, well, I got a little bit more, but yeah.
Good.
I asked
Should
for
hope
some
so.
perks. That office is too nice. It's weird.
Is it a good office?
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, I never.
It's just weird. Big, giant UFC glowing logos
I
and
fucking
stuff.
blew it, man. I got offered a radio gig there ages ago, and I just said, yeah, $1 million. And he was like, $1 million? I'm like, yeah. He's like, are you just saying that to get more money from Sirius? I was like, well, yeah. Because I don't want to live in Vegas. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? I want to do an MMA radio show every day of my life.
Was that going to be for his network?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A long time ago. And I think that was the end of it. I've never been cool with him since.
Yeah. Well, he pays Jim Norton $1 million, so I think
Makes
he set
sense.
the bar.
No, Jim Norton took everything from me. Took everything. The channels, podcasting, everything. Because we all know what a huge MMA guy he is. So it makes sense that he's the podcast guy for UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Good. Well done. That worked out good for me. So anyway, you're traveling around telling everybody about your new shit.
Yeah.
Are you sick of it? Not your shit. Talking to us.
I'm sick of the mornings, yeah.
Right.
This is still bright and early to me.
Yeah, I don't want to be here either.
No, it's tough, man.
I'm gonna move. I actually found out last night we're gonna move back to afternoons.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna sleep in like comedians.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's how I like it.
I'm thinking about doing some comedy again now that I'm gonna be an afternoon guy, and I might stay up late and hang out with comedians and be like, "You guys telling some jokes over there? That's cool." Me too.
You go out a lot around here? Do you ever see shows?
No, I started this year seeing some shows because I wanted to do a little bit of stand-up because I was doing this. I've got to do this one-man show at next year, so I wanted to practice being on stage, telling some jokes. And one time I told jokes because we have our own show every year in Vegas at the Hard Rock, and no, this one was actually the band at the Roxy, and things got fucked up, and Tully was like, "Can you just amuse the crowd for 20 minutes, was it?"
Something like that.
Something like that. And I just smoked half a joint and went down there and did some shit. And I really value Tully's opinion. He was like, "Dude, that was really fucking, like, for not knowing what you were going to do and just doing that was really talented shit." And I was like, ah. So then I thought maybe I could be a comedian. But I also understand the comedian, like golf and anything else. It's craft and you got to work on it. And
Yeah.
I'm 45. I got a lot of shit under my belt.
Yeah.
I don't have a burning desire to be the world's greatest comedian, so I already know that it's a guaranteed fail.
Right.
Because you've got to be
You definitely.
a maniac.
You have to be crazy.
You strike me as a particularly hardworking comedian, and this is going to sound rude. I don't know if that's because you draw attention to it more than other comedians, or if it's because you actually are. But you have been on stage like every night for a decade plus.
I play it down, really, I think, and that sounds braggadocious, I'm sure, but I know for a fact that I play it down how often I work. Like, it's really crazy compared to most other comedians, because it's just hard. Like, even, like you're saying, I've been doing it for over 10 years, but I like to stay in shape, and when I'm not in shape, I can feel it a little bit. It's a little bit wibbly-wobbly if I take 3 nights off in a row, and then all of a sudden it's just, you know, it can be fun, but and it's fresh, it's exciting because you haven't done it, you have pent-up energy, and but I'm one of those guys that just loves to do it, and my nights feel weird if I haven't done it.
Well, right, and on the flip side, and I've brought this up to you before, Jason, I've seen people who I judge to be okay comedians who then get maybe a thing opening for somebody on a tour, and they go out for a month or two, and I see them just as soon as they come back, and they are like so much better than I've ever seen them before. So like it's almost like a fight camp, like the fighter that you were. In 8 weeks, you can actually raise your bar an incredible amount.
And that's exactly what I'm doing with this crazy tour coming up in August, is because I'm taping my second special in September. So this is like real fight camp for me, because it's every day. And then I fly back here to do my live podcast that I do every Monday, and then I fly back out again on Tuesday.
Wow, Kill Tony will continue.
Yeah, every week live in the main room of the Comedy Store at 8. But then back out on Tuesdays with Jeremiah, all around the country, in big crazy rock venues and theaters for the first time for me. So that's going to be really fun. And then in September, rolling straight into the special. So I really am applying this like a fight camp, and I've even said it that way and use a lot of fight analogies and stuff.
And you got fight stuff. I've seen you talk about UFC and stuff. Now, that's a tough line to walk, I think, because Joe Rogan is obviously, I think, made comedy very MMA friendly, but when you start talking about the Diaz brothers, you know that there are always going to be people in the audience who are not familiar with the intricacies of the Diaz brothers.
Yeah, and it's one of my favorite things is to figure out a way to make those jokes work, you know. And I actually, are you saying that because you know I do have a bit about the Diaz brothers? Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, so when I started that was something that I'm like, oh, this will be fun to do. I think I can graze over this one, you know, slap thing for a while in front of Joe Rogan's audiences, maybe when I'm opening for him in Vegas or whatever, a Diaz fight weekend, I think it was, when it was all actually coming together. But then I ended up working that out and taking so much pride in the fact that you no longer now have to know who they are. It's going to be in the next special, and if you do know, then it's sort of even less funny than if you don't know who they are. I've noticed now it's to the point to where the whole joke is about me telling these people about the Diaz brothers. So sometimes the people that already know are just like, they can't even believe that these strangers that in the beginning weren't the ones cheering when I said Diaz brothers are laughing. Like, I got it now to where it almost is better if you don't know who they are.
Yeah, it's funny. I think largely because of Joe Rogan, it's just like this growing subgenre of comedy. I did a show the other night and Eddie Bravo was there. I mean, he just comes on stage like, "What's the deal with Kelvin Gastelum?" You know, it's like he just fucking lead with that.
He did?
I forget. He went up and the first thing he said was after pleasantries was, I think it was something with Conor McGregor.
Look, dude, I feel like it's the podcasting world is owned by Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has Brendan Schaub. Brendan Schaub has Brian Callen. So there's like a, you know, and now Brendan Schaub is a comedian who was a fucking legitimate UFC fighter. And really, Joe's shit is not really about... I'd say it's way more about weed than it is about MMA.
I don't think he talks about MMA at all.
Right?
I think he keeps it complete... I talk about it more than he does. Yeah, it's a completely separate thing for him. He's talking about deep world awesome stuff. Like, he's on top of the
that's
game.
why I said marijuana, because it's like, what would a dolphin do if it had legs, kind of thing.
Exactly.
He goes there.
And, you know, it's all the stuff. I mean, just love and growing up and all... He's so much deeper in his stand-up than he is as a commentator on the surface as a podcaster.
I just think the MMA...
He should work a lot more of that into the UFC broadcast, actually.
He never does that.
Yeah, he keeps all the things separate.
I know, right?
It's
it's funny how much he doesn't be funny in UFC commentating. Like, he never really goes there, ever.
Yeah, I loved it. We were all laughing on the last one a couple Saturdays ago, the one in Vegas. What's his name? The big guy that they just let start commentating with the screen. He's got a magic pen. And they
really?
Yeah, I'm blanking out.
They got a picture pages guy?
It's not Bisping. It's the other big guy. The big white guy.
Oh, the All-American guy.
Yeah, the Fox.
Fucking... God, man, what's wrong with
Andrew?
me? Stan, Brian Stan.
Yeah, so, like, for example, you're right. Joe almost never makes jokes. But I was watching him, you know, stands there and he's got the screen and he's showing, like, he's drawing it out. And this is big technical box, and you can tell he has a special pen because it's live. They're seeing what he's drawing. And I'm looking at Joe with a funny look on his face watching this for the first time. And he's been doing it for however long, 15 years in the middle of rounds. He's never seen anybody going, and if this happens, and then look how he comes in and goes under. And I'm watching Joe with a funny look on his face, and he said something like, you know, I want one of those pens. I'd end up, he said something like, I'll end up drawing, I'll draw penises or something like that. Like, I mean, but it happens quick. But when he is funny, my point is this, that when he is funny, when he drops a little bit of that stand-up, it hits, like, very, very hard.
You know, he's the best.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is I feel like MMA, podcasting, and comedy are, like, the new what's hot.
Yeah.
In all three genres. Like, in MMA... podcasting is what you get your information from, and if you've noticed, there's like the comedy. I mean, I have a radio show and a podcast, and then I did some comedy, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, I think from us doing a podcast
and a couple pro MMA fights.
Well, but no, I've always been in MMA. That's different. I'm saying the podcast comedy world has really embraced MMA because I've always been in MMA. And really, to bring it up on the show, it's been a bit of a downer. But these days, bringing it up on the show seems to be a bit of a highlight.
Yeah.
And that's like, we've only been in this game for about 10 years.
Yeah.
So at one point, I remember they did surveys. It's like, we really stopped talking about MMA, Jason. And now you do a survey, it's not like that. And like that has become, like you said, you bring up the Diaz brothers. Maybe some people don't, but most people do. Mm-hmm. They're kind of like professional NBA players.
Oh, totally.
TMZ are on their dick now because of the whole who bought them and stuff. So you get reports on. They shove it in your face who these people are, and they're very interesting these days. I mean, the Conor McGregor. I mean, he's 1,000 times more interesting than Mayweather on his most amusing day.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to a boxing fight where he's going to fight him, and the crowd is way more on a dude who's never had a boxing fight side. That tells me that MMA is very big right now.
Oh, definitely.
So it's not that hard to bring that stuff up.
Even like Ariel Helwani, like his pod, like that's one of the few things that I click on and will watch live if I'm, going through my Twitter feed, because it's like you don't know what you're gonna miss sort of sometimes when it comes to the UFC. Maybe there's a rumor, maybe somebody's gonna call somebody out. I think it's different than other sports. The Lakers can't be like, hey, you know what? F this. I want the Utah Jazz next month. Give me that commissioner.
Right.
Like, UFC is so much cooler. I always say, like, the times when it's almost like WWE is when it gets really great. And I've been saying that for years. And Joe and I, in fact, got into a famous argument on his podcast like 4 years ago, because I was saying one day UFC is going to get one day they're going to realize that the more pro wrestling it gets, the cooler it's going to be. And it became that. It started evolving, little things like Ronda using the same finishing move, little tiny details, and like the Diaz brothers. It's such a cool character. The Mexican tough brothers that smoke pot and run triathlons, because who knows what's going on up there. They have to run 10 miles a day before even going out in public.
I love how they just say that you have to love it, you have to hate it, and I hate it, and I hate the fuck out of this game, and I hate fighting when anyone hit me in the face anymore, and I'm just confused as fuck over here, because I'm like, wait, what? Yes, you do love it. You're lying.
Yeah.
I'm confused. I train for a fight too. I mean, I'm nowhere near your level, but I enjoy. I like going to the gym and fighting. There's no fucking way I'd be in this if I didn't really like it. So your whole I hate it thing, but when he says a lot of stuff he says makes no sense. They just words come out because it's very punchy, and there's a lot of hell, and there's definitely an internal torture going on with both of them.
Yeah.
So you only get half. I'm not sure they know the correct answer, but when they both say the whole, you gotta hate it. I hate it when someone tells me, dude, Diaz brothers, you gotta hate it to love it to hate it. I'm like, first of all, you don't even fucking fight, so you don't know what the fucking training is, and you just hearing him say that, he's just saying that to maybe get Dana to pay him more money. That's I don't think he hates any of it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he loves it. These guys live for it. I mean, it's such a hard thing to do. Like you said, if you have to do all that training and all that stuff, then I don't know if hate's the proper word.
It's the incorrect word for it. I'm really hungry, and I really would rather eat some real food. I'm really thirsty and drink some water. The word hate can start to boil a little bit there, but it's still the incorrect word, because you got in this.
Yeah.
And because you're hanging out with Joe and all those, what it takes to be their level, it's insane if you're in the UFC, you've gone so above and beyond what you should be doing to be in MMA. Let alone you got a little taste of the butt. Like, fuck off. How did it get you to this level where they do what they're doing there? I think it's like, so I work for this company, and sometimes they do things and you're like, fuck, what the fuck, why are you doing that? I fucking slaved my ass off over here. Like, I love doing this.
Yeah.
And when you do something insulting to me, then I have like this poor me scenario, and I think a lot of fighters have that. It's easy to go there real quick with the, I'm fucking getting killed out here, and you're not giving me money. It's like, you could have gone to school and not been a fighter.
Right.
Like, you like fighting.
And even if they hate it, they don't. I was there when when he choked out Conor McGregor, and I'll tell you this, he wasn't hating it then.
What about the week or month after? Because I could tell that he is the most he's ever talked in his life, probably.
Yeah. Because
the money and the fame, I believe he cares about the fame as well. I believe they both do. I believe they both have expensive, stupid pants on lately when they go to nightclubs. That tells me somebody... Because I wouldn't care. If you told me, dude, those pants you got on, they're from like 1995, dude. You need to get some different shit if you're going to go to the club. Oh, yeah? if I'm really all about fighting and you tell me that, I'll punch you in the fucking head because apparently you give a fuck about pants.
Yeah.
And I'm a fucking fighter. So that tells me you like fame, you like the money. And then every interview he had, he was fucking smirking.
Yeah.
He had like a smile on his face for like a month. When he did Jimmy Kimmel or whatever, he was like, like little shit-eating grin on his face.
Yeah.
He was pumped on it all. He loves it all.
I don't think there's a man alive or a woman alive who can be unaffected by fame. Some people are more than others. Some people make it more obvious than others. But I just don't think that's the nature of fame. It's like being unaffected by money. I don't know that that's a real thing.
I also think that there's a thing with those guys, almost like a rapper's mentality. You know, almost like we came from nothing. We are from the desert. You know what I mean? We eat our vitamins. We go for a run. We smoke some pot. And we do this stuff, and nothing can stop us. Like if you look at how they so the fame thing, I think, sort of plays into that. You know what I mean? We made it. Like if you listen to rap songs, I don't know if you guys do that at all, but I know they do. You know what I mean? Big Tupac fans and all that. So
Listen to Depeche Mode.
Really?
Nate is super into Depeche
I
Mode.
would not have guessed that. Well,
Right? Me neither. Sorry, Nick
in,
is. Sorry. Yeah.
The sport's in a really sweet spot right now where it's like almost like the when the first rock stars happened, it was exciting because there was no blueprint for that, and everybody who got into it did not know that that could be or would be the ultimate prize. If you figure out when you're 12 years old you're really good at basketball, you know what the trajectory is for that, but these guys are... The sport is big enough that they're world famous, but it's still kind of small enough that they'll just be like, fuck you on Twitter.
yeah.
And if you meet them, you are still talking to not a polished PR, factory person. You're talking to an aggressive human being who speaks their mind and got into fighting because they're a little bit of a misfit.
Yeah, I interviewed Nate. In fact, I was one of the only people to get an interview with him in L.A. after that. After the whole
On your podcast?
Yeah, on one of my podcasts. Yeah,
One of them? You have any?
Yeah, I have 3. It's really crazy.
It's just the way all you guys are, right?
I have my live one, and then I have my interview one, and then I have a pro wrestling one with my buddies.
Okay, because one of them has to be with your buddies. That's
Yeah.
that's where it always goes with. Well, you have one and I have one. Maybe we should do one together while I do this other one.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see that whole thing.
Yeah.
Because I've thought about it lately because of our podcast. I'm like, well, some of my friends have a podcast. I'm like, that one seems to be doing well. Maybe we could do one together. And I'm like, there you go.
And that's one of the coolest things about podcasts is like you can all push each other in the different
Right.
brands, and since everybody's sense of humors and interests are different, you can have like a different combination of this and that. You know what I mean?
See, we don't do that, Tully. We don't hang out with podcasters at all. That's our problem. We're like a satellite radio. We're satellite radio people that have a podcast. So it's almost like we don't really take it that serious because we're not even really allowed in the gang. Like I told him, all our friends, Bert Kreischer, fucking Brendan Schaub, everybody, they're all 1 to 10 top 10 podcasts, and we're not. We're not on their podcast.
Right. Well,
we're like out of the secret group.
I've been telling you we need to swap cast.
Yeah.
I'm telling you they won't. We're not allowed in the group. You don't know yet, but when you bring it up to them, they'll be like, "Dude, easy on the Ellis thing."
Yeah, exactly.
I'm telling you, we're not cool. We're not allowed to be here. You're not supposed to be here. You
Yeah.
just don't know yet. I can tell. No one gave you the memo.
Let me just send you all over, Tim.
When they post a photo, when the photo gets posted of you and us hanging out, someone will text you and be like, "Hey, don't go there again, dude. That's SiriusXM."
I love it.
Yeah. So you write jokes for fighter people, not just Dana, right? You've written for somebody else, haven't you?
I do sometimes here and there.
Because now they've got you. They're like, this guy's super funny, proper comedian who knows MMA.
Yeah.
You gotta hire him.
Yeah.
Because now the thing is, because I've noticed people are like, oh, you're a fucking comedian now, are you? Like people have said to me on social media, oh, you're doing stand up. That's fucking original. And I'm like, wait, what? Oh yeah, it is. Everybody, because now Brendan Schaub.
Right.
So now I'm a copycat because Brendan Schaub is a proper comedian.
Well, I guess that makes us all copycats because
No.
Lenny Bruce was doing it, I'm pretty sure, before all of us. So it's like, one of those things to where maybe they relate you to that, but if you want to do it, you should be able to do anything.
Okay, wait,
These
but
people are crazy.
I'm sure you've never participated in these conversations, Tony Hinchcliffe, soon to be seen on the Monster Energy Outbreak Tour, but I'm certain conversations must be happening in the private backstage areas of the Comedy Store about the people who have not been comedians who are trading fame from some other area of entertainment and trying to transition to the top of
That's always been what stand-up is, though. I haven't had this talk like this. This is just hitting me now, but that's always been what stand-up is. It's your trade. Unless you do it the right way, which means not famous or nothing for 15, 20 years, like Bill Burr, like Louis, and, you know, these people that were writing for very famous comedians while doing their stand-up, but you didn't know about them until it was just an explosion and undying. But most comedians are doing that. They're taking a character from TV. Hey, if you love Kramer from Seinfeld, then see him do stand-up this weekend and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, we've always been doing that. It comes down to the content, you know, in my opinion. And I was shocked when I saw Brendan Schaub a few weeks ago doing really good. And I'm a very tough critic, and I love Brendan. But I would normally, almost with any comedian, I would tell the truth, which is, you know, yeah, you got to keep doing it, got to work hard. He's definitely applying a fighter's work ethic to his stand-up. He's out there all the time. He's not just being lazy about it. So I think everybody's sort of trading fame in a way to do stand-up, as long as you maintain the muscles, what I was talking about earlier, while trading in that fame from whatever. I mean, a lot of people that come see me know me from whether it's Kill Tony or this, or even the wrestling podcast lately, which we only started like 6 months ago, but I'm already seeing direct, you know, people in meet and greets going, man, I'm a fan of this and of that. And it's like, you know, it happens so quick that you sort of have to, especially with all the content happening now and everything. You got to use everything that you can to generate, you know, an audience
rich?
and a fan base now.
Because you don't fucking dress like you are.
Nah.
I mean, are you aware of what you've done to that hat?
No.
It's fucking destroyed.
I wear it like every day.
Yeah. No, it's all squunched down. Like, you can't call him and be like, hey, let me send you another joke and get another hat, because that thing is fucking... Someone sat on that shit, dude.
Probably.
And it's such a cool hat. Oh, you still got the sticker on it, and it's so old and crustated. But you still have the sticker on it. That's so awesome.
I think your hat looks great, Tony.
Thanks, man.
That fucking thing is so chewed up. As a bald man that wears hats all the time, that shit is the one. Those are the ones where I put it on my head and I look in the mirror and I go, well, fuck, that one's done. But you're just like, hell yeah. But Dana White did give you that hat, so that does make it way cooler.
Yeah, it makes it worth it. You know, it's fun. He's great.
He is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that guy.
Did you,
I try not to harass him. He seems very busy.
Yeah.
Right.
I send him texts every now and then, and I probably shouldn't. But like I get like these, you know, stoned ideas sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll literally be like, all right, here's something crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
Does he ever go for it?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, at least he always responds. It's unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable.
'Cause I'm in the same boat. Every time
I'm literally like, I probably shouldn't have sent that.
Yeah.
He's so busy. I'm watching him live on a press conference and I'm texting him. It doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. And then 2 minutes later, it's like, you're the best. Thumbs up emoticon. I'm like,
every time he
what?
ever gave me tickets, I tell Telly every time I go, I take Katie to the fight, and I'm like, this is the time. This is where we get aced.
Mm-hmm.
And one time, remember, they weren't there, and I texted him, and he was like, shit, sorry, bro. And then somebody came up and was like, Jason Ellis, and they made 2 seats for us. So he completely forgot that I asked, and then got 2 seats made for me to sit in. Like,
I don't know how he
I don't
does
get
it.
why he does it.
It's unbelievable.
I still keep waiting. Who's this?
Yeah.
But it's not. It's, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Full on. I'm like, what the fuck?
Always,
How do you do that?
always above and beyond with
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah,
It's
he's
incredible.
amazing.
Did you open for 311?
Yeah, on their awesome cruise to Jamaica. One of the coolest gigs I ever did. One of the gigs that I was worried about going into it and was mesmerized while I was.
Why
on
would
it.
you be worried about being stuck on a boat with 311?
and their biggest fans.
Yeah. But they ended up being clean and awesome and cool and
Clean?
yeah.
Did you expect 311 and their fans to be dirty mongrels?
I didn't think 311 was gonna be dirty. I thought maybe they're, you know, I mean, a cruise ship, 5 days. It sounded like, you know, I've been to music festivals. After a few hours, you start to smell it. You know what I mean? And 5 days in, these 311 fans were perfectly showered.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Doing
Come
what?
on, way,
What do you
311.
do?
On the cruise?
Yeah.
There's so much stuff going on. It's actually so awesome. So there's like, it's much bigger than I thought it was gonna be. Like, it's like a shopping mall.
Yeah.
You know? It's just humongous. So
Okay,
they
let me
have.
guess. Hacky sack contests.
Oh yeah. All of that.
Tambourine
Definitely all
off.
of that. They have all of those things and really, really good concerts all throughout the day and in different venues. So like if you're into one thing or another thing, like that's the main show. They did 3 of those on the main deck. of the cruise ship. 311 plays on the top, but inside of those things, inside of the thing, there's tons of different venues and bars and casinos and other things going on. It's really awesome.
Would you be like when they're not playing? If you were in a casino, would you be hearing some some deep cuts from 311?
You can't hear it unless you're on that deck. Everything on that, it's
no, but I mean, like, do they play it? Like, do they pipe it into your rooms? Like, just the studio albums? The discography.
Why do people have headphones on?
That was specifically a show. That's one of the concerts where what's really cool about that room is everybody has headphones on, and some people are listening to different songs. The DJ is playing sometimes 2 different things at once, and he mixes back and forth. So sometimes like people will be dancing, and then like you'll see like people will be like, oh my god, and you're like, wait, oh maybe I should switch to the other thing. And you turn it over, and that's cool. Like, it's hard to describe, but it's really neat.
You can play basketball against 311?
Yeah.
Wait, they go to a beach and hang out at the beach?
Yeah, we went to Jamaica.
This is a fucking great idea. The only thing that's bad about it is 311. Everything out is awesome.
They're great, man.
Man, that sounds like look at that. That's a fucking fun time.
They're one of those bands that I think everybody sleeps on until you see them live. They're so crazy.
First time I ever heard of them, I saw them live.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, and you're not a
worst band ever. Ever.
I would rather go on a Bobby McFerrin cruise.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Oh fuck yeah.
I'd rather go on a Carrot Top cruise.
Ooh.
Where he was the only performer. And he just kept doing it over and over again. Yeah. He's been on here before.
Really?
He's a fucking weird ass looking dude.
Oh, yeah. Nick Swartzen was there too.
Nick Swartzen's with 311.
Yep.
Wow, that is an insane mix.
Right?
Have you rubbed shoulders with Carrot Top?
I have. He saw me perform at the Improv a few months ago and came up to me after my set and complimented me. It was very surreal. His face, his body, his hair,
weird,
it was all at
weird.
once. It's very...
I mean, he came in here and said he never had plastic surgery, and then somebody showed me photos of him when he was like from 10 years ago, and I was like, man, I wish somebody had showed me that while he was in here, because I want to show him that photo and go, come on, man, look at your face and then look at this face and say that, what, you had some special face cream? Come on. This is bullshit.
Yeah, so that was, he's an interesting looking guy. It's very, I don't even know where to begin with that, with a face like that. It's just scary. He looks like something that like I pictured as a kid hiding in my closet or under my bed or something.
I thought his arms were scary because he had weird wrinkles on his forearms that I kept noticing, and I was like, how do you fucking get that? What the fuck? What do you do? Did you have implants in your arms and now it's wrinkly from it?
It's a shame he's not broke, so you probably couldn't entice him to play the villain in a very low budget horror movie.
Yeah.
Because that would be a terrific move.
He would be great, yeah.
But
just no makeup him?
Yeah.
No, he's terrifying.
I used to always want them to make that Michael Jackson movie when he was alive, but it's a little bit too late. And not that he would play that, but you could get somebody who was clearly a stand-in. But but I mean, that guy's making like $30 million a year. He doesn't need your shitty direct-to-DVD money.
Are you, Tony, you hang out with Ari a lot. Do you have a phone and stuff? Do you use a phone and do you have it on your pocket? Or are you impressed by his thing? Because I'm about to leave. I'm super addicted to social media and all that stuff, and I felt like, because business wise that's like a good thing to do that. And then just recently I was like, maybe time, and my daughter's 12 and she's on it all the time. I'm like, maybe it's time I just left. I'm like, I could just get my fiance to video stuff or post it, if I'm gonna be somewhere, just post that and that'll be the end of it. And if somebody really needs to get a hold of me, she can read it and say, hey, somebody really needs to get a hold of you. I don't need to be on here anymore. And then I heard, I think you were there. You and Ari were on somebody's show, and he was talking about how, he left and didn't have a phone at all. Yeah. Then is that inspiring to you, or are you just like, he is fucking gone?
Man, we're so different. And I think that he doesn't, I don't know how to describe it. I don't think that he likes social media or utilizes it. I don't think he likes it, which I think is different.
He has that one thing on the Twitter thing is like, if you're verified, you're a tool or whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck do you even have one for if you're making fun of people? Like,
I know.
What is that?
It does surprise me that that's his Twitter bio. Verified is for people that want to feel special. I'm like the rest of you. It's like, wow.
Like, maybe
For a guy that never panders, I can't believe that's in his Twitter bio.
Right? Like, it's been there for a long time, too. Like,
Yeah.
just move it on. Or get rid of your fucking Twitter.
But I'll say this, is that when I found out like a year ago or whatever that he was getting rid of his phone and going around with the flip phone, I was like, this will only work if he is producing more great stand-up than ever. And all of a sudden, here it is. He's, yesterday just dropped a double special on Netflix all at once that everybody, of course it's killer. He's a master. He's like a big brother to me, and he's always been a great mentor of mine, and I love him tremendously. But separate than that, everybody's talking about how great it is. So
Okay.
there it is, bing, bing, boom. A double special on Netflix that everybody loves. That's all you can ask for in the business of stand-up. So I'm sure not having a phone to distract you for 3-4 hours a day like it does me, and it sounds like you, can only help with the stand-up writing.
Yeah, because I feel like there's that because we've talked about it a lot now because this is the end of it for me. But there's that time where you stand there and you've got a couple of seconds to kill, so you grab your phone. Like even in the elevator, it's just like a go-to. Everyone in the elevator looks at their phone because they don't want to be uncomfortable around each other. And I'm like, what about that time where I don't grab my phone? What do I think of right there?
And there's definitely a chemical in the brain that goes off. It gives you something. It keeps me.
Yeah.
If I wake up in the morning and my alarm goes off and I am tired and I hit snooze, I can fall back asleep. If I'm tired but I'm expecting maybe something and I check my messages, then next thing I check my email, and then next thing I check my Twitter, and then next thing I check my Instagram, and then maybe I check to see if I got any DMs on that. Made it this far, might as well check my Facebook messages, see if there's any notifications, any birthdays, then you're up. It's done. And I don't want to be. My point is I want to go back to sleep. But once you look at that thing, there's something in whether it's the light or the chemical release in our brains, it's troubling. It's weird.
Yeah, I've noticed that when you go on the rare occasions I've gone on like a vacation where you're truly unplugged, when you come back and everything's nice and fresh. It's I compare it to, I was a cigarette smoker for years. Like when you have not had a cigarette all day and you have a fresh pack and you're taking that wrapper off, it just feels really good because you have so much like built up demand in yourself, and now here's all this supply. That there's something. Yeah.
But
We're
you don't
all
need
fine.
it. Just like with the cigarettes, it's so unsatisfying.
It doesn't do anything for you, right? It's actually dragging you down. Also, it works. I don't know if this was Ari's intention, but I think you would agree, Tony. When you have like an angle for a stand-up special, it's a hell of a lot easier to promote it, to sell it, to drum up interest. If you beat cancer, you obviously did not get cancer so that you could then make a award-winning comedy special, but it's a great angle. If you are visibly pregnant, well, nobody's done that before. There's a great storyline, and I'm not saying you had the baby so you could do the special, but it did work out well. I don't know what Ari's intentions are, but he's got a comedian with a storyline is a powerful thing.
Absolutely, especially now that specials are being made around every corner and everybody's competing, and Netflix is winning, and it's one of those things to where I think you sort of have to nowadays. Neil Brennan's 3 mics, Ari doing a childhood and adulthood double special. Like you said, I mean, there's almost just, in order to not have a theme, I think you need to be some type of race or some type of sex, you know what I mean, or something like that. You definitely can't be anywhere near a white guy and just go out and do hey, it's me and a microphone, just like the old days.
Let me tell you what I think about everything.
Even my only special that I've ever done, I was able to sling it to Netflix because it was one shot. It was all shot with a steady cam from beginning to end, and it follows me in and out. It never would have gone there. The debut, a stand-up comedy debut on Netflix is like unheard of. So I knew that when I was making it and had the idea for it and made it myself. So
what's your angle this time around?
It's going to be very much along those lines again, except with a much higher production quality.
Okay. You're one shot Tony.
Yeah.
All right.
Monster Energy, huh?
Yeah, I'm so excited. This doesn't really happen much in my line of work, but I cannot wait to have a sponsor. I'll do anything with your logo.
UFC and Monster Energy. That's what I see from you.
I love it. Man, if I got that call from WME or Dana, I'd wear it all.
Yeah.
Get a tattoo, anything. for the Monster tour, all I have to have is a can of Monster on stage. So
Yeah.
Delicious, refreshing
Yes.
Monster Energy. There's never a bad time of day for Monster Energy, if you ask me.
That's where I get all my vitamins and minerals. I love it.
Man. You hang out with Dice?
Yeah, every now and then. In fact, I was just talking with him the other night.
How's he doing?
He's killing it, man. He's got a great show on Showtime with Natasha Leggero, Dice. I've been watching that.
What show's that?
Dice.
Yeah.
Like, what's this, like, reality show, or?
No.
It's like oh geez, what is that even called? But it's very much based about his real life, but it's like cool.
It's like a fictionalized version of his life, but since Dice is a barely non-fictional person, he's more or less just playing himself.
Yeah, it's really crazy. It's like Entourage, except it's Dice and his like sons and his wife. And
is the band in it?
Are the real kids? The real kids are in it.
Yeah,
I'm sure that was part of the deal for Dice.
I'm sure it was too. That's exactly. It's really cool though. It came out good. I was surprised. I was watching it on the plane. And one of those things where like, oh, I'll give this 3 minutes, and then 4 episodes later, I was arriving in Dallas or whatever. Like, thanks, Dice, that was great.
And
so they don't play the band a lot then.
No, they're great. They're in it.
They're great kids.
Yeah, they're great.
They're terrific kids. They got a great attitude.
Yeah, I can't wait to see their platinum albums.
They just love rock and roll, man.
Just like their father, they're destined for glory.
Rocking's a crime, let them be guilty.
Oh my god.
I love how Tony.
You guys aren't going to have to deal with Dice later this week after this.
We're not going to have to deal with him ever again because he came on here and played that shit. And then he wanted to fight me because I was like, they're not very good. And he was very angry at me for that.
Man.
Yeah, it was one of the better shows of our career. According to people listening, not to me. I was like, oh, God.
Wow.
I did not want this. Yeah, but he won't come back on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Patch things up. I mean, prove me wrong, Get that band to sell an album and I'll eat my words.
Maybe they can open up for 311. We'll get you tickets to the show. And
I mean, that would make sense. At 311, that's the kind of band that I would expect to see if I was on the 311 tours. Some shitty rich kids that can't play.
Oh my God.
What?
You're pure evil to these kids. They're little babies.
Oh, they're fucking 25. What the fuck? I know. Get the fuck out of here.
When I met them, it was just over 10 years ago. I came here from Ohio to start at the Comedy Store, and I still see those little tiny kids. You know how when you meet kids when
you see them as kids forever, right?
It's so weird, even though Max is like 2 feet taller than me.
Yeah, he's a super together guy.
Hey,
he has no issues.
This is hilarious.
I think growing up in their dad show has been very good for them.
Oh my God.
He was obviously very hands-on. Oh. I love how they wear the clothes that he used to wear too. That's a doozy.
XXXL.
You're like 28 years old and you have the cut-off gloves. It's like, what?
Studs are.
That movie came out like fucking 60 years ago, right?
Studs' comeback is right around the corner. Just somebody passed along to me a rumor of Brock Lesnar possibly returning to the UFC this year in November.
Well, I mean, the band he's fulfilled his the band thing, right? Like, he's the steroid clearance. He tested positive. He did his year of not fighting. What?
He's loaded up on steroids again. He can get cleaned up and fight again.
Yeah, I mean, who? He's not the only person that's tested positive for steroids and fought again in the UFC, so why can't he?
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
He's killing it too. That's another guy that uses his leverage. Oh, maybe I should only wrestle 3 times this year. Maybe I'll go back to the UFC. Maybe I'll this. That's a guy that knows how to really get paid for who he is and his brand or whatever. That stuff's crazy. He kills it at the WWE because he doesn't have to work like the other guys. The other guys are on the road all year round. He gets to do a few pay-per-views.
Yeah, but you get tits like that. Tell me you haven't worked hard. That is a lot of bench pressing.
Yeah.
I saw photos of him when he was a kid. He was big, but he didn't look like that.
Right.
And Tony, you do not get that look. Because look, he gets out on I get it. The wrestling thing, he gets out on stage with no shirt on. He's a fucking, Like, what the fuck is wrong with that dude? If you saw him on the beach, everybody would go, what the fuck happened to that guy? I mean, those tits and lats are fucking tweaked.
Yeah.
He's a ball-tweaking ape man.
He's scary.
Yeah.
He just throws people behind him in wrestling. Just throws them over his head like that.
It's cheating. I'd like to see him do it to somebody the same size as him. The only problem is, nobody's the same size as him.
He's scary.
He is a scary guy. I will grant him that.
And
That penis tattoo. Very scary.
that's Braun Strowman. That's another big guy.
You know all the wrestling guys
Yeah.
because you're into the wrestling thing. Our
Yeah.
producer's a big wrestling guy.
What's his finishing move?
Brock Lesnar's finishing move is called the F5, and he could probably have a better finishing move. He's about to do it
Yeah.
to Goldberg right there in that middle
Could
one.
at least have a better name. That's a shift key.
Yeah. Ah, that's interesting. I never even thought of it that
Yeah.
way.
I don't know what F5 does because I don't know what any of the shift keys do, but I'm sure it does something.
If you press it, somebody gets knocked out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Somebody gets hurt.
I just hit it. I think it reloads things. It's very intimidating.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. I don't follow that much of the wrestling thing, but
Honestly, I'm quite surprised that it is his finishing move. For as powerful as he is, and watch what he does to this. Rikishi's huge.
yeah,
he's
it's a big
fat guy.
Samoan guy. So he's got him in the air, and he
It's sort of just like a spin around let go.
Yeah,
right.
how would that finish anybody?
Exactly.
That looks kind of fun.
Yeah.
I do that to my kid in the pool all day.
It is an interesting thing. Some of the finishing moves don't really make sense in that sport,
No.
in that entertainment field.
Yeah, but does that sport really make sense? You know what I mean? Like, did that move really did anything hurt anyone? Except for, I feel like a lot of their moves that hurt the guy that inflicted the pain more than.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
Right.
There you go.
Like, there was a guy who used to be in the AWA back in the Road Warrior days who his finishing move would be that he would put his hand, like a claw, all over your face.
Yeah.
And that was just like, it was fucking lights out. It was the camel clutch of its day. Nobody got out of the hand on your face.
Mankind, Mick Foley used to put his hand in your mouth like that, and it
Right.
would go under
That's
the
not
tongue.
cool.
Right. Yeah.
That's not cool at all.
all.
Especially him.
Yeah.
Like, whatever he portrays and what he really is, either one of them, I don't want that fucking hand in my mouth.
You tap immediately when
Right.
it happens.
I know.
Get your hand on my mouth.
I don't sign the deal before that fight happens. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go work in the supermarket because that dude is not that sock that he has in his pocket. That's the same sock. He ain't washing that thing and then he puts it in your mouth. Wait, who's that guy? Man, there's a
Is
lot
that
of.
Mark Henry?
Yep.
Yeah.
The world's strongest man.
Sure.
He doesn't look that strong with Brock Lesnar giving him a P5 or whatever it is.
Is that the Spanish announcers table?
Yep.
Oh, will they ever win?
No respect for the Spanish
They
announcers
they
table.
need to build a wall around that table so that
Right.
people don't break through it.
For their own benefit, but of course they'll have to pay for it.
Yeah,
All right,
so
well, listen, guys, I could sit here watching
Yeah.
YouTube highlights of the WWE all day, but I do think we have to move on.
was that a girl or a guy that he just put the crutch in his face?
That was super sexual.
Wait, now he's doing it again. He just blew that guy.
Yeah.
Now he's trying to blow him again.
Third times.
Okay, this is the most uncalled for rape blowjob I've ever seen in my life. Who's Spike Dudley? And who becomes so little in wrestling?
It's got a David Cassidy vibe.
How does Dudley get a job in wrestling?
It's a big show.
It always blows my mind. They always have a little guy that sort of gets tossed around.
Do you see yourself becoming that?
No.
You're not interested in it?
No.
You're very connected. Everybody likes you. You could
Yeah.
just retire. And I'm assuming you do this podcast because you really enjoy the sport of wrestling.
Yeah.
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 So you're not like a Ronda Rousey kind of person that could get dragged into being in the actual wrestling world?
Oh, I could make an appearance or something. Like maybe I could be like a guest referee or something.
Or what about a manager or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you got
Would
that
you-
kind of vibe.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd love that.
You
Right.
Could, you could go Mouth of the South. Like,
Yeah.
they broke the ring one time?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brock did.
Wow, that's a very powerful man
Yeah.
to be able to do that.
That's how much power was in the ring at that particular time. Wait, did he just try to throw that Mexican guy over and he kind of... Whatever. I'm happy for those guys.
He might have double clutched it.
So, Dana White, dinner with Dana White? Do you do that?
It's been a while, but yeah.
You've had dinners with
Yeah,
him?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys are really good friends.
Well, normally that's with Joe. If we're at the same hotel or something like
And you'll
that.
all enjoy a meal together.
Oh, it's fun.
And how is the conversation? Is it good?
Yeah, it's always good. He's really cool. It's sort of surprising, I guess, because you would think that, like we were saying earlier, you'd think he would just be busy and swamped for as crazy as I get when I'm in my phone or getting 3 texts at once. I'm like gone. If like human beings like, Tony, what are you? I'm like, get away from me. Can I now? Whereas
You will literally say, get away from me.
No, but my point is Dana can like absorb all that stuff, and I think that staying calm and having fun thing and staying positive for the most part, at least, really helps him. It's inspirational,
Are you a whore on the road, or are you like married and shit?
I wouldn't. I'm not a whore, but I'm single, having fun. Just got out of a couple long relationships here in LA, and excited to be on the Monster Energy Outbreak tour.
Ready to mingle.
Were you in a relationship on the 311 cruise?
I was.
That's a shame.
Was that a unfortunate circumstance, or was it like you weren't going to get laid if you were single there anyway?
Oh no, I would.
Or is it a fuck off on that boat?
You know what? To be honest with you, that one was an interesting one because that was the end of my 2 girlfriends ago. That was the end of that, and I took her with me on that. I owed her a vacation for like 2 years. I was working.
And your vacation was your working vacation on the 311 boat?
It happened.
Wow,
quick,
I can't believe she left you.
It happened.
Was she a fan of rap metal?
Like so many others.
like so many chicks.
Fucking rap metal.
Oh my god.
Oh,
it's more about the Jamaica thing than the 311 thing with her, but
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that just goes to show you how, going back to like, unfortunately, how hard I work is like that was my vacation, and I came back refreshed from that. I mean, I was like, whoa, I came back.
Nothing more relaxing than 311 for 5 days.
They only played, I think, 2 or 3 times.
That's
Smart.
The best thing you can say about the 311.
There was a couple of days where they did not perform at all, and that was bliss. That was living. All right, Tony. So you're man. What? I swear this might be the most busy schedule out of. I mean, you got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. And I'm traveling.
Old
with,
Death Row, Snoop Dogg, Smoke Out, man.
Yeah, it's all happening. That's on YouTube. Me roasting Snoop Dogg. That's like my real specialty, other than stand up, is making fun of people professionally. I'm friends with Snoop Dogg now. That's another one.
That's gonna be a good
dropping
one.
names like crazy.
Is he a guy that would have a dinner? He wouldn't text you. He wouldn't. He just drifts away, right?
Nope. He texts. He follows up. That's another one.
Wow.
Same exact thing. He
Wow.
keeps rolling with it. Stays positive. Keeps kicking it. He has, his is a little bit different to where, well, I mean, it's not even that different than Dana, actually, because they both have, as someone, when something happens, they come up, hey, you have to do that one thing, in like 3 minutes, and Snoop's like, let's just do it now, and he'll literally, like, one of the cool things last time I was hanging out with him was, we were in his recording studio. I'm helping him write a movie right now, which is really cool. He needed, like, a comedian to be sort of like a consultant on that. And they're like, hey, Snoop, you got to do that one thing. He's like, all right, I'll do it now. Almost like Bill O'Reilly, like, we'll do it live. Let's do it right now. And he's like, hey, what's up, Apple Music listeners? This is the new song, Promise You This, blah, 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 blah. And we watched Snoop release a song and give the exclusive video. And I even was like, Promise You This. I went to my Apple Music, and it wasn't there. And then after our meeting, 45 minutes later, I'm literally in his parking lot, and I go, Promise You This. And I looked it up, and there it was.
Wow.
The same song that we were listening to in the studio, like him finish up, upload. Like, it was so surreal.
Fuck.
Crazy.
Cranking it.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't stay around this long without having your shit together. It's an optical illusion, the whole I don't know what the fuck's going on thing.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah. He's a monster.
Speaking of monster.
We're going
to Outbreak Tour.
TonyHinchcliffe.com
Yep.
for all the upcoming dates and tickets and all that stuff. Yeah?
Yep. OutbreakPresents.com as well, but yeah, go TonyHinchcliffe.com is just fine.
And of course, Reebok, UFC.com if you want to buy a new hat.
Yeah.
They sell them on there. Just saying.
I love it.
Maybe you could get Joe to send you a package. I don't know. All right, thanks for being on the show, dude.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
We'll be
So
back.
fun.
Peace.